If you've ever wanted to photograph models and you're not sure how to take a good photo, today is going to help you out a ton. This video is very different for this channel. I'll be doing more of it, but it's very popular on my TikTok where I go and I critique modeling portfolios, not so much the models as much as the photographer and the photography. And I will do it very respectfully. I will look and tell you what they're doing right, what they're doing wrong, and then by looking at other people's work, you're going to become a much better photographer. When you become a much better photographer, you're going to get many more bookings. When you get many more bookings, you're going to get a lot more money in your bank account. So let's get started. The first one is going to be for LA Models. LA Models is a very good agency, and we're going to go through their mail page right here. I have my laptop right here and I'm going to be looking down. The first thing we want to do is we want to look and say, okay, so let's see the options that we have. So there's so many different options. We have all races, all ethnicities, we have different age groups and everything. So I think what I will do is maybe pick somebody that is younger at random, and then I'll pick somebody that's a little bit on the older side at random. So what I'm going to do is basically do that with my fingers on the trackpad, and I'm going to put my finger down, and you're just gonna have to trust me that I'm doing it the honest way, and we're gonna pick a model. All right, so here we go. Okay, it stopped at Reese Leonard. Let's look at Reese. Okay, very cool. So the first thing that we see in a portfolio, actually let me just tell you how you pick models too. When you look in a portfolio, it's like, all right, cool. What they're clearly showing is his body, but I'm looking as a photographer for expressions, because a body I could fix in Photoshop. It's not ideal, but I could do that. Expression, that right there, what you see, how you move your face, that's really golden, okay? So right off the bat, I would just look at this and go, okay, let's do a quick overview of his portfolio first. The first thing we see is a video that has him doing his side. So he's gonna look at you, he's gonna introduce himself, and then he's gonna possibly turn around, good. And as a photographer, I want to see their profile. I want to see everything else. That's just for your education real fast. And then there's something called digitals for models. Digitals are clean, raw photos. It used to be Polaroids, but now with digital age, we just take a photo. It could be an iPhone photo, like just with this or anything like that, but it's no retouching, no special lighting, very, very neutral. And that allows you as a photographer to look at it and go, yeah, okay, so he looks really great in his other photos, but that much of it is retouching. So digitals are very important. Now let's go and critique the work, okay? I like this photo. He's clearly a good-looking guy. But one of the things that you want to do is, I don't think that this is his strongest photo to show as like the first one. Always make sure, unless they're a star, and then with a superstar, you could do anything you wanted. But if this was Leonardo DiCaprio, you could put the hair wherever you wanted. Make sure when you photograph people that the big chunks of hair do not cross the eye. So this one, I would say it's not really my favorite. So I think that he can get a much stronger one. And then the way that the hands are, he just doesn't look like, I don't know what he's selling me. He's not selling me sexiness. He's not selling me athletic ability. He's not selling me nice guy. And this is not his fault. This would be the photographer's fault. As a photographer, I would say, hey, Reese, think of something. Think of someone you love. Think of something you hate. Think about something. When you do, the little tiny bit of energy changes in your pupil, and then that takes a photo from dead to alive. And when you hear Tyra Banks back in the day, she would say, smize. It's like smile with your eyes. I'm not going to do it, but y'all can Google that. The next one on the left right here, it's cool. That's a very standard shot for men. If you do the hands on the side like that, I think that that works very well. The one on the right, careful. Like, look, everything is fine. I like that the shoes are in front of one another. So this is clearly an ad for the shirt and possibly the pant too. I like the pose and everything, but the way his hand is up against the wall, it now looks like a big hand is coming out of the head. As a photographer, you always want to make sure that nothing comes out of the head, no phantom body parts. So this would be the photographer's part and say, hey, instead of putting your hand up against the wall, why don't you lean against that yellow sheetrock drywall thing and get a better photo where your hands don't look like phantom body parts. The next thing here, him squatting on the ground, black and white. God, no, this is a horrible photo. And Reese, if you see this, DM me, because I feel like I have to make it up to you, but I see so much potential in you. Clearly you got signed to a great agency, but look at the jacket at the shoulders and see how they're like folded over. That's a fail. Now, clearly they didn't have really a stylist on this shoot. It looks more like a test shoot, but the photographer has to look and go, whoa, look what's happening to your shoulders. It looks like right here, it looks like a butt, and it looks like a little butt here. And then on the back, it's rising all the way up. We don't want that. That's not useful. So if I'm also a photographer, if I'm looking at it, I'm like, ooh, I don't know if he can work a suit. And this is a deficit for Reese. But the next one on the right, powerful. And I'll tell you why. Because his hand, there is no phantom body part coming out. He's looking, you can actually tell that in this one on the right, he is thinking about something. Photographer probably communicated, think about this, give me that. This works. This, he's alive. I get to see the jacket, I get to see the pant, and it's a good, clean shot. And there's no hair, even though the hair is down, there's really nothing covering his eyeball. Okay, so now you see the good and the bad. When we look at this stuff, you guys, we're gonna have to work on retouching. Look how wrinkled his shirt is. That's a very easy fix. And that could have been the difference between Calvin Klein looking at him and not. There's so many people that shoot like this, gray, concrete, all black, this hard, strong shadow. And when the shirt is super wrinkled, we pay attention and it automatically downgrades the model. Your job as a photographer is to make sure that they do very well and that their work is always upscale and that the client always looks upscale, especially if you're selling everything top to bottom and you are the product. The one on the right side, I'm not a fan and I'll tell you why. I love the shadow because you can see the eyelashes, but he's not connecting to me, to the camera. Always have him connect to the camera, or that's like the primary space. 80% of your photos, they gotta be looking at the camera. When they're like this, what he's selling. And this guy is actually a really great model, great jawline, everything. Man, it's unfortunate. And then where are his hands going? Where? I see it cropped. So don't make my imagination go, oh, is he cupping himself? Because that's what people think. Good lighting for the photographer. I will say though that the wrinkled in the shirt here works, the background works, but it's just so uncomfortable. I feel like he has a neck ache and I'm not a fan of that. So make sure that the neck is gonna tell you a lot. This makes you short, this makes you look more tall. This looks painful, but just like this is not as painful. Relax the thing. One way I relax the model when I see the neck tensing up, I'm like, all right, cool, pause. And I'm like, let's just do this. Move it around, different ways. When you do that, what happens is the muscle can't be tight because you're moving the sucker. So you pause and you go, let's move it around. I hope this is helping you guys. If this is helping you, comment below, let me know if I should do more of it, and we're gonna be very respectful to the models and everything. The one on the right, normally, I wouldn't want a photo that's movement like this. It's a perfect photo in a weird way, because as a photographer, if I'm looking to hire somebody, I'm like, okay, look at the movement, but look at the sparkle in his eye. Look, he has so much personality. I feel like he's about to say something. I feel like he's about to lunge at me. There's just so many things that I'm like, oh, that's a very interesting photo. Let's go to the unspeakable one, the one to the left of this. Are you sad? Are you hungry? Are you sleepy? Like, what is this? What is this? A neck ache? But the one on the right, I know what's going on. Like, there's just action and it's really good. And actually, I would have cropped it a little bit tighter and killed the other hand. But regardless, it's a really good photo. The only other thing I would just say on this is make sure like the couple phantom hairs, this one and the two on top, those are, just retouch those two out and that's it. Oh my God, you guys. The pop in the collar this is not the model's fault. This is the photographer's fault. The pop in the collar, what is it? It looks like he's holding it. Who walks around like this? But if he was just kind of going like this and moving it, then I would believe it way more. But this, what is this, right? And so I have to sometimes make a point, like exaggerate something to really make a point. If he had even put the shirt over his head and just kind of looked at you like this and connected like through the eyes, I would have loved this photo. Lighting, everything's fine, he looks great, but I don't want you guys ever holding anything. In a photo, I can tell. When you do it, look at the tension right here in his muscles. No, that's not a real one. What happens is, as a client, something subconsciously happens. This is how you book your clients. it's about the subconscious level that we can control. I feel like something is dishonest about this photo, so it makes me not trust the model as much. It makes me not trust the photographer as much. And I'm like, all right, keep it moving on. All right. The one on the left, great. It shows his body. It shows that he's feeling like he's got a whole mood going on. That place looks beautiful wherever it is. Looks like Europe or something. But the sun, the lighting is great on him. You see the body. It's a clear body shot, but also I see some emotion on his face in a sense that he's just relaxing. He's looking down at his girl or his guy or whatever. And I know that I can put him in an ad because I know that I can put him on the side and like convey some message with the other model on screen too. The one on the right, it's okay. It's not a bad photo. It's not a great photo. He looks great, but there's no emotion on his face. You can tell that's what I'm really focusing on for this model right here. The one on the left, I kind of like it because there is some life in his eyes. It's not the maximum one, but there's some life in his eyes, and I like that. So I know that I said hypocritically, like don't cover the eye. I don't like one strand because that's distracting and that steals from everything else. But this one kind of covers the whole eye and focuses on the other, so it works really well. The other one of him, I don't know if he's taking his shirt on or off. I wish his hand was at a different angle and it wasn't like this. But the movement, what is that? Like what? Why is his arm like that? The bicep, like right here? Let me know what you guys think about that. Is that like a bad retouch or is that just literally how the angle? Never mind. That is Reese. If this helped you, check out this video here because I just did another one of these too. If you want me to do more of them, put that in the comments too. I wanted you to watch real world stuff, why I would hire a model, why I wouldn't, how they could have done better as a photographer, not the model. The models were great. Some of them deserve better photos. I'll see you in the next video.